All right, welcome in everyone. Today's Technical Tuesdays on April 14th, 2020. Let's go ahead and get started. Now, I mentioned earlier that I was going to cover about the mindset stuff. There was some mindset training that I had. There's actually this very important key part that some people have heard me talk about it. Um, it was actually in the video that we watched earlier for mindset training. And it had to do something very similar to the law of attraction. Now, this mindset portion I actually learned from uh, from Bob Proctor, and basically, let me first start off with drawing this figure here because that's part of it. But when it comes to seeing results, and inside of that training, it had mentioned um, about your thoughts. Now, your thoughts are a very key thing when seeing success. It's actually um, the first thing that happens when you're deciding to do something is your thoughts. And everyone has two sides of their thoughts. The negative there's a negative side, and then there's a positive side. So you guys know when there's like negative thoughts in your head, if you fall, or let's say you wake up out of bed, you stub your toe, like you take that as like a negative thing, and then throughout your day you start noticing a lot of negative stuff happen because you're you're already starting your day off with negativity, and then it just starts dragging on over and over. um, Now the key that I go off of is TFA equals R. So your thoughts lead to your feelings, feelings lead to actions, and then actions equals the result. Someone had mentioned that Bob Proctor mentors us. Cool. So yeah, so Bob Proctor is a really good person when it comes to like the mindset and neuro science and all that stuff. Tony Robbins is another person that's also really good with this. Um, but anyway, so what you think of is overall what leads you to your results. And then the main thing is thinking positive thoughts every single day to be able to start seeing positive results throughout anything that you're doing, whether it be fitness, business, relationships, like any area in your life. As long as you're going throughout your life with positivity, you're going to start seeing good results. And then one of the main things to be able to switch your life from negative to positive is um, first thinking about what you're grateful for. That's actually a key thing that I do early in the morning, is think about everything that you're grateful for. Even if you don't have the results that you want right now, be grateful for what you currently do have. um, so once you do that, that already puts you in the right track to start getting the right results that you're trying to see. And just remember, it's not going to be immediately, but it's going to be something that, as long as you have the positive mindset behind it and you're taking action, that's going to lead you towards your success. So just thought I'd share this very key thing, be able to help you guys out. Now, another thing is that I wanted to bring up um, was the best way to be able to see results when it comes to trading or anything is by teaching others. Now I'm gonna show you guys this learning pyramid right here. So if you could see, um, the lowest is getting lectures, which by the way, this is the way, like going to college, they do lectures, professors do lectures, and most people don't really learn that much. Reading is 10%, audio visual 20%, 30% is demonstration, kind of like what I'm doing right now, I'm demonstrating. 50% is a discussion. We're kind of having a discussion, being that you guys can like be able to message inside of the chat area, and then I answer you guys' questions and we like interact. So that's a really good way to be able to learn. And then practice doing. This is a part that we don't really do inside of the live analysis because we're you know, you guys are just watching my screen. Now, if we got into like different trainings or like, you know, the 7-day FX mastery, for example, like I have people do assignments, and that's already the 75% because people are learning from the audio visuals, the demonstrations of stuff that I do on the actual charts, and then they practice doing it. Now, 90% is teaching others. Now, even if you're not an expert, try teaching someone. It could be your brother, it could be sister, it could be someone close to you to be able to help them out. And what this is doing is it's the best way to be able to learn. And that's actually, so I already knew how to do trading before teaching people, but what I was doing when I had first got started off was I was showing a friend how to do trading. And when I showed my friend how to do trading, it it made the strategy stick a lot easier. So it was actually benefiting me while also benefiting the other person while I was showing and demonstrating them. Now, I got the upper hand. I got the best way to be able to learn is by teaching. So that's actually something that I'd recommend for you guys. When you learn a strategy, teach it to someone else. It's going to stick a lot easier, and trust me, better help you out with your education, and not just Forex, but specifically in Forex. This is one of the best ways. So teach other people. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with the live analysis. You guys, thought I'd start off with that just to give you guys a better view of the mindset portion and the learning side. Which, by the way, that's not the only training that I'm doing. Have some more stuff for you guys. So let's go ahead and look up what we have today. Um, so today's Tuesday, going on to Wednesday. We have some high impact on USD at the beginning of the New York, and then we have some about 2 hours later for CAD. So you're going to be looking at some of these pairs. We don't have anything for the London session, so still going to be looking right now, see what we see. So let's start off with some of the majors. And by the way, if you guys have noticed any currency pairs that you're analyzing, you want me to go ahead and break it down, post it inside of the chat area. Only if you have done your analysis and you see that it's like a perfect setup about to happen, just post it in there. Okay. So let's go ahead and break down Euro USD. Euro USD hit this resistance, had a reaction. Okay, so just from what I see with Euro USD, just trapping the price right here. Price was trapped, broke out through here, and overall continuing the uptrend here. Now you're seeing the higher highs, higher lows, continuing to go up. Price right now coming back a bit. Okay, so what we might be seeing here is going to be price coming down somewhere around this area right here, being that there's this, what was once resistance is now support. So it broke through being support, and then we have support on the uptrend. It already broke out this area of being trapped here with this resistance line on the bigger time frame. So overall continuing this stronger uptrend. So I'd be seeing it hit here and then just continuing to go up, which, by the way, this is actually, if you guys saw that Fibonacci training and how I mentioned how I like pivot points to be able to align together, you can actually see when I did this fibs right here, 38.2 is exactly where pivot point is at, and then R1 is exactly where this negative 27% is at. So it actually aligns perfect. Even R2 aligns perfectly with this negative 61.8. So that's actually what I love seeing when it aligns like that. And then this is what's going to give me that extra confirmation. Now, if I was to look at this a little bit lower, we don't really see much price action on the 15. It's just going down like that. But overall, going to be looking for something like this, maybe some kind of reversal pattern, and then catch this moving up. But we're looking overall for price to hit somewhere around this area right there, and then being able to go along. Now, for something like this, you could potentially do like a buy limit. A buy limit, so you wait for price to come here and then enter in automatically for a buy, have stop loss somewhere below here, and then take profit up here. So it would look something like this. Now, usually the very minimum that it would go up to is going to be this this 0, or this very high right here, and then the second take profit would be negative 27% all the way up here. Someone mentioned that Euro USD was showing threes on the MT4. So when it's showing threes, when it's showing threes, now most likely it was showing threes right here, which, by the way, it would just be kind of like in this area if it shows a 3 going on here. So that's kind of for this reversal, but it can still continue to go up, because overall, if we see what was happening here, is just kind of like a triple top. Now this is a 15-minute time frame. You saw something like that, and then the breakout happened. But overall, it's expected to go long, just based off of what we're seeing with price action, higher highs, higher lows. Just keeping it very simple, understanding which way the trend's going. Now let's check out another currency pair. Let's see what some of you guys have posted on here. Okay, let's do USD JPY. Gonna erase my analysis, do a full breakdown. Okay, so let's spot out resistance. For resistance areas. Go on to the weekly for this. Those that have seen me do this live analysis before know that I get real quiet sometimes when I'm really focusing. I call it trading in the zone, which, by the way, if you haven't read that book, go ahead and read that. Trading in the zone, real good for psychology of trading. Okay. Okay, so let's see if we might be noticing USD JPY reversing, possibly, being that it's at a major area right here. Now with UJ, I actually posted this on my story how it was a sell because I had caught this. Price had gone up here. I actually trapped it on the smaller time frame where it was um, this area right here was just going into downtrend. Overall, this was like the support like this. And then it was just consolidating in this area and then finally broke through. And then it just continued to drop from here. So now that it's in this area here, so we might be noticing is that reversal happening. So gonna wait for something to kind of pop up. We don't really have a reversal pattern. It is at a major area, but what we might see is it'll come up because there's support one right here. This is just pivot point stuff, but what might happen is price coming up, coming down, and then being able to notice a pattern somewhere around here to be able to get in. So as of now, not just yet, being that it's already on the fibs, and if it does break through this area, if it does break through this 0-0, because it's already showing that it's going into this downtrend, forming like lower lows, lower highs, there is still that chance that it's going to break through, um, hit like negative 27%, probably come back up, um, and then continue coming down to this area down here. So don't be too quick. Don't be too quick to be able to buy this, being that it's at like a major support area. Just wait to see what price action is doing and then be able to get in. Uh, okay. Now, I'm not going to be analyzing gold. We're just going to do currency pairs. Okay, so someone mentioned their GJ selling. By the way, in a couple minutes, we're going to start doing the actual training portion. So let's cover some of these currency pairs real quick. Erase everything. Okay. So with GJ, just looking at this right here, kind of see it hit 38.2 and it's dropping down. This is a weekly time frame fib. Do notice that it just keeps reacting off of this area here, just keeps hitting it and then bouncing off. So right now it's hitting here, bouncing off. Okay. Now just doing the fibs from this high to this low, it's kind of around the zone where it might be dropping down between that 61, 50% level. The only thing about this one here is there's a major area right here. So it can bounce to this area, and this area has like a strong reaction area where it can just come down to just anywhere around here and then just continue shooting up. So this zone right here that I pointed out is actually this is a zone that bigger institutions are looking at. They're the bigger traders because they trade off of the bigger time frames. So when you do see that it's that there's a zone in this area just be aware that it can hit around here and then continue going up. But overall, from what I'm seeing with a price is, it looks like it's going to continue dropping down, hitting around that 61.50% level. You do see it's kind of getting weaker here, just based off of what I see with RSI and everything, showing it's going down, while over here it's showing everything pretty much going up. Yeah, this one's not really too much of a clear thing going on. Normally when I feel something like that where it's not so clear, I wouldn't get into any trade like this. I would want to make sure that I'm really confident with the trade. I noticed like a lot of confirmations before being able to get in. So for GJ, I know someone had mentioned that they're going long. It did react off of this area, but there is still a chance it's reacting, coming up around 61.50%, and then going to be coming down. Someone said Euro JPY. Let's check that one out. Actually, because someone said please on UCAD. USD CAD's a little on the slow end, but let's. Okay. Okay, so some support right here, a reaction happening right there. Overall going in the uptrend. Now, because this area does have like a strong reaction area, overall what this is kind of showing me is like kind of like that bigger double top happening right here. We might be seeing this drop down, especially because both of these points up here, if we looked at the RSI, and for those that weren't in the last training, I had talked about RSI, where we look at the top points, and we notice from this point and this point, it's showing that it's decreasing, while over here it's showing that it's even. Now this is the monthly time frame. Now as we start zooming in, we start kind of noticing what's going on. Okay. Now what we see here with this strong, let me erase this eclipse tool. Okay. So we see right here with this strong uptrend happening, it's kind of like that flag formation happening. So it did break below just a bit. See kind of like that push coming up. Okay. I would just see on this one, because it did break through. It looks like it broke through and it's coming up. Most likely going to hit around this resistance and then going to be dropping down. So this is kind of when I would go down to the 15-minute time frame and then just spot out my support line like this. So overall, we do see what's happening here is it's kind of going into that uptrend right now. So we kind of want to wait for it to figure out what's going to happen and then continue dropping down. But overall, I can see this UCAD dropping down just based off of what I see on the bigger time frame. Everything's just going into that downtrend right now. Okay. All right, you guys. Let's do one more. Someone had mentioned Euro JPY. Okay. Yeah, I would say with Euro JPY, it's just off of what I see right here. It looks to be continuing to drop. It just keeps breaking like this support trend line and just continuing to drop. Um, it's a major support there. Go into the smaller time frame. Okay. So this one's definitely dropping. Euro JPY, high to low, hit around this area, and then it rejected coming down. Also hit the 200 on the moving average. So it hit, and then it's coming down. So right now it's at that 23.6. So we should be at least expecting for this to drop down at this 0, area right here. 21's already under. It is kind of doing like that triple bottom. So overall, this is like that 23.6 area. So just looking at this, right now, price is right at this S1. Should be seeing a strong push coming down. Now for this right here, so this is how I would enter in on this trade. Entry right down there, stop loss above here, take profit, do right there, somewhere around this 500 area. And then the entry price is at the 250. Cool. So yeah, this is a pretty good trade. Overall, it's already going into the downtrend. So yeah, should be seeing this continuing to drop down. I actually post this onto my trading view. If you guys want to follow me, I'll actually show you guys right now for those that are new. Expected to continue dropping. I'm actually getting pretty soon on this one. Yeah, but to follow me on TradingView, what you do is you go to tradingview.com. Once you see this search area, you're gonna see ticker, look up people, and then look up Risky Ricky, and make sure it's the one with a lion. Once you click on that, you'll be able to see my profile, and then from here, there should be a follow button somewhere around here. So you actually get email notifications anytime there's a new setup coming up. Let's actually look at the last one that I had done with GBP CHF. So I mentioned last week about GBP CHF being being a sell. Now I didn't get in just yet. If you can see, the entry is down here, which it didn't hit my target. It continued to go up and currently all the way up here. With GBP CHF, it is expected to drop. It is around that 61-50% area on the fibs. So overall, it's just extending the support line coming across like that, and then getting in over here. Still around the same targets all the way down here, 38.2. But normally for something like this, where it's hitting off 61.8 and 50%, should be most likely seeing that drop all the way down to the 0% on the fibs. All right. Someone asked about the stimulus check. Yeah, for something like that, that's really up to you. I'd definitely suggest investing it into education, and then putting some into a trading account, and then just working off of that. Being that it's like free money basically. So if you're growing it, that's going to be even better than just blowing it. How do you protect from stop hunters when the price is consolidating in a wedge? So for stop hunters, I just wait for a breakout and then just go with the trend. Um, you can't really do too much. Just probably not have the stop loss as close, because that's kind of where people mess up, is they'll put stop loss like right super below a support line. So don't have it too close, and just have it in an area um, where it has to like significantly break through the area. And if it does break through, then most likely um, the strategy that you're doing, and you had mentioned like a consolidating in a wedge. When it's consolidating in a wedge, you just if it breaks out the other way, then it's probably not going to go your way. So you can't really do much. So for example, like something like this, the entry being like a significant breakthrough. And that's kind of with support and resistance. For support and resistance, you have to wait for it to significantly break through the support for it to be a valid support, because there is always those wicks that you have to be careful for. So I never put my support and resistance like super tight where it's like really high up. Um, I keep it where it's like right in the middle evenly, and then even for my entries, like how you can see right here, it's a lot lower than these previous ones. So if it drops all the way down here, then we should definitely be seeing this continuing to drop down. Compared to putting my entry, let's say like really tight on the support, then that wouldn't look so good. Okay, cool. Glad I was able to answer your question. Um, now, getting into the training portion, you guys, thanks for waiting. I know some of you guys um, join in here kind of for the training portion. Obviously, with the live analysis, you can also learn from this as well, especially with some of the training that I had talked about previously. Um, Now, some of these trainings I'm going to be touching up on, so it might be like a redo for some people that haven't seen the previous one, but it's also for some that have seen it, where we're just covering it over, and then just what what helps you out is that repetitive and seeing it over and over, and it just really helps get you to get that strategy stuck onto how you do your trading. And then obviously I mentioned earlier how you want to make sure to teach someone else as well. So make sure to do that. Now, this strategy right here that I'm going to be talking about is called major market patterns. Now, I'll make sure to make this kind of quick. So, the major market patterns. This is actually one of the PDFs that comes in the 6 Millionaire Trading cheat sheets. Um, so, it goes over everything with major market patterns. Covers over what to be looking for, and has like a breakdown on everything. Um, you can kind of see all this entire thing, and just a really really good outline of um, of the major market patterns. But basically, what the major market pattern is anytime you see a trend going into, let's say, an uptrend, what I look for is major market patterns to be able to see when the market's going to be reversing. So when the market's going in an uptrend, there's 3 patterns that I'm looking for when looking for a reversal. And those 3 patterns are, and those that have taken the training, you can message it right in the chat area, just to tag along. So trouble. triple top, and then head and shoulders. There we go. So double top. Now this is when market's going in an uptrend. These are the three patterns that I look for: double top, triple top, head and shoulders. So when it's going on an uptrend, what double top looks like is you'll notice 1, 2, and then reversing. So when it's going in the uptrend, it's basically just hitting off of a resistance area right here, double top. And then what I do, so there's something called a neckline where you connect this point to this point for double tops, drag this coming across. And normally the distance from the top to the neckline is a distance that it should drop once it breaks the neckline. So should be expecting for the price once it breaks through to drop all the way down here, and then being able to catch this at a trend. So double top being one of them, triple top. This is actually what the triple top looks like when it's going on to an uptrend. We notice 1, 2, 3. And neckline for this is between this point and this point. It's right in this area. And then this point and that point, it's right there. So neckline coming across. And then normally the distance from the top to the neckline is a distance that it should drop. So our target should be down here once it breaks through. And then for head and shoulders, so we see it going into an uptrend. And then we will notice something like this. So kind of like what a head and shoulder looks like on a stick figure. We have the head, and then let's say left shoulder, and then right shoulder. So kind of what we see right here, we have the left shoulder, head, which is doing a higher high, and then a lower high right there, getting this point. So between the left shoulder and the head, we get this point, and then between the head and the right shoulder to this point, dragging the neckline like that. And the distance from the head to the neckline is a distance that should be dropping down once it breaks through. So our target level would be right there. Now, here's actually something to realize when doing the major market patterns is you want to see that the trend is going in an uptrend to catch these patterns, because what I've noticed that some people do wrong is it will be something like this, and this is a wrong way to do it. So it's like it's going into a downtrend, and then they notice it kind of comes up a little, and then like head and shoulder pattern like that, and then it, like they look for the head and shoulders right here in this area. You're not looking for the head and shoulders in this area. You're looking for it when it's going in the uptrend, not the downtrend and then kind of goes up a little bit and then continuing to drop down. You want to make sure that it's doing the higher highs, higher lows previously, and then spotting an area. So that's what I've been noticing that some people get wrong with this. Now, so these are the three that I notice for an uptrend to catch that reversal happening. Now, for the downtrend, so when market's going into a downtrend, it's going to be the exact opposite. It's double bottom, triple bottom, and then inverted head and shoulders. Great job, Sophie. By the way, Sophie's one of the persons inside of the mentorship program, doing a great job. I know she's killing it, studying her ass off. Every little detail when it comes to the training, like she's on the PDFs, just studying everything. So shout out to Sophie. All right, so when market's going in a downtrend, you notice these three patterns right here. Double bottom would look like this, 1, 2, and then neckline is going to be from this point to this point. For double bottoms, it's a little hard for the necklines, but it's basically what the neckline would look like. These are the double bottom areas, which, by the way, when price is right in this area here, there's a chance that it can reject and continue to drop down. So you want to make sure to wait for the breakout of the neckline to be able to get in. And normally the distance from the bottom to the neckline is a distance that it should be going up. So the target level should be up here. So take profit right there. Now, triple bottom. So when we see markets going in a downtrend, it's going to be the exact opposite from an uptrend. You're going to notice 1, 2, 3, and then probably something like that happening. So we have first point, second point, third point, and really what's happening here is it's just hitting off of a strong support area that it's not breaking through. And then neckline is going to be between this point and this point. So you drag this coming across like that. And then the break of neckline is right in this area. The distance from the bottom to the neckline is a distance that it should be going up. So the target area for take profit should be right there. Okay. Now that's for triple bottom. Now for head and shoulders, I actually do this every single time in my training. Those that have taken my training know that I do this, where I do this exactly opposite. It's actually, so we have this left shoulder, and then we have this right shoulder right there. So it's like a backwards hanging person. You have the left shoulder, head, and then right shoulder. Same thing when it's going in a downtrend. Now again, making sure that it's in a downtrend first before spotting out this pattern. So it would look something like this. We would have the left shoulder, head, and then right shoulder right there. Neckline is between the left shoulder and the head, and then the head and the right shoulder, these two peaks right there. Drag the line coming across. Distance from head to neckline is a distance that it should be going up once it breaks through, and then target should be right in this area for take profit. Okay, so that's how you're, so these are the major market patterns when it's going on an uptrend or a downtrend, these three, so make sure to memorize those, practice them. I'm actually show you guys real quick on the charts, and then we're gonna be off for tonight. So on the charts, which actually, let me check EuroJPY real quick. Okay, kind of a rejection, so gonna wait a little bit. But so on the charts, now let's spot out this area right here. So this area right here, if you can actually see it, comes up, comes down, comes up, comes down. Let's see who can spot this pattern first, right in the chat area. And I'll mark off the points, this point, this point, and this point. Perfect, you guys are getting it down. Okay, head and shoulders. Someone mentioned triple top. It looks very similar. It's kind of a triple top in a way, but more of a head and shoulder because this point is higher than these other points right here. So for this right here, the neckline is between this point and this point right here. So if we drag this line coming across, what we notice is from this head to this neckline is a distance that we're targeting for the sell. So we enter in right there on the break of neckline, and then our take profit level is going to be down here, which we can clearly see price was hit. So I actually love doing back testing, and this is actually, let me actually bring up this learning pyramid, is the demonstration and the discussion and practicing doing. The practice doing is part of back testing. That's what I'm doing right here is back testing plus having the discussion and teaching you guys. But so you want to make sure to back test the strategy so then you can get it down. Because once you're hearing it, you know, it makes sense when I'm doing it, but then once you do it yourself, it's kind of a different learning experience because you have to actually look for it instead of like me already, I have like the eye to be able to find it pretty easy. So let me spot an area where it's like an uptrend and then going into a downtrend. So like this area right here. So we see price going into an uptrend and then kind of does that double top right there. Now for this double top, it's a little complicated being that there's not really, well, the previous high was right here. So it kind of looks something like that for this double top. And there's like major resistance area. But Euro JPY is it's kind of more of a complicated currency to trade off of. So let me go off of USD JPY. Okay, so right here in this area, we can see price came down, came up, came down. And then what pattern do you guys notice right here? We have 1 point, 2 point right there. Someone mentioned a W. That's basically the kind of pattern that it's doing, but it's a double bottom. So the neckline would be from this point to this point coming across like that. And the distance from the bottom to neckline is the distance that it should be going up. So you can see the target was hit once it broke through. Price hit that area. Now let's spot a different one. So now this area right here, you can actually see it's going into the uptrend and then it does 1, 2, 3, actually does like a 4 top. So this one does like a 4 top, which what's actually happening with a trend is it's consolidating in this area. Now, when it breaks through, same thing pretty much applies from the top to this bottom support area or neckline is where you should be targeting for the sell. So you can actually see it perfectly hits this area and then it bounces off. So you would have at least hit take profit. Now it just continued the trend going down. So these trends are literally all over. This area right here, let's see who can get this one here. This one's a little complicated being that it's going down a bit. So you can see it's doing like lower low. But overall, what do you guys notice right here in this area? Okay, TB stands for triple bottom, perfect. Good job. So in this area right here, it is a triple bottom, which by the way, previously it was going into a downtrend, as you can see. So you want to make sure that it was previously going in a downtrend before spotting a pattern like this. So it's 1, 2, 3. Neckline is between this point and this point here. And the distance from the bottom to neckline is the distance that it should be going up. So you can see it definitely did hit the target once it broke through. So you'll notice this all over the place. Now with these patterns, you can notice it on any time frame. The main time frames that I focus on are the 1 hour and the 4 hour. So right now I'm on the 4 hour, and you can like clearly notice some of these, like left shoulder, head, right shoulder right here. Neckline is between this point and this point. From head to neckline is what's expected to drop once it breaks through. So we can see it did hit the target, no drawback, very clear trend. So I hope you guys got some good value off of this. Some of you guys, this is brand new. Some of you guys have already heard about it. This is definitely a really good strategy to stick to when it comes to being able to spot when the market's expected to reverse. Now, by the way, these strategies don't just work on Forex charts. It also works on any type of chart. So I'm actually show you guys real quick on like a different chart. So let me look up Apple. And you guys already noticed that I already pointed out one of them right here. To the left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Neckline is between here. Distance, I already did it, but from the head to neckline is the distance that it's expected to drop. So you can clearly see the target was hit here. Now let's see kind of where this market crash happened. So now with stocks, it's a little bit more choppier, but what you can kind of see right here is it does like 1, 2. It's just pretty much consolidating in this area. In a way, just consider this kind of like a, if you want, like a triple top. And then from this top to this neckline, this is actually considered like a rectangle kind of thing going on. So once the price fully breaks through, the target should be right there. Now, if you can actually see right here, when price started going up, you can see that we have like a left shoulder, head, and then right shoulder happening right there. So distance, that's the neckline right there. Distance from head to neckline is the distance that it should be going up. So for Apple stocks, we should be expecting for this to go up to about this area right here for this reversal. Same thing applies. You can use this for Bitcoin. You can use this for Ethereum, any type of charts. As long as you can see candlesticks, you should be able to use this reversal pattern. Same thing with all the other strategies that I use. You can use it. Now for stocks, it's a little different when it comes to news and seeing off of that, because you're mainly analyzing what companies are doing, and especially if there's like certain news releases happening with certain companies, you can notice when price is about to go up. But the technicals is a very important thing. If you notice like a good news release off of like a stock or a company, and you notice like a reversal pattern like this, then it's an extra confirmation. That's the main thing about technicals, is you just get that extra confirmation to help you out with your trading. So I hope you guys take this, make some money off of it. I know it's definitely something that should be helping you guys out long term. If you know someone that's getting into investing, some people, they're just, especially with stocks, they're just kind of like buy and hold. They're just like, I just trust in a company and they're just going to buy a bunch of stocks. Especially right now, that's kind of what's going on with smart investors. At least they're buying when the price is really low, which is in these areas right here for stocks, and then overall companies do go up. Yeah. Anyway, so that's it for tonight, you guys. Hope you guys got some great value off of that, and let's catch the money. I know right now is the start of the London session. Right now is the start of the London session. So going to be checking out those pairs that I was analyzing. And I would say right now we should be seeing a decrease on Euro JPY. I know for sure I'm going to be getting into this one very shortly. You guys will actually be seeing a signal. For those that are in the signal chat room, be prepared for that. I'm going to be posting the signal for this one, and you can actually kind of see the signal call out right here. These are kind of going to be the results. I'm going to be adjusting this a little bit right after this live. Anyways, you guys have a good night. Trade safe, stay safe with this coronavirus stuff going on, and let's make some money, you guys. Talk to you guys later.